So today's video is all about setting up in those bunkers and getting out first time, every time. Now, I think for a lot of golfers, bunkers are a place they dread. Inconsistent shots, one that can go 50 yards, one that can go a yard in front. Well, today I want to talk about a technique that's incredibly simple that means you can get out, not necessarily right next to the flag every time, but out of the bunker so you've got your putter out and you're going to save shots straight away if you're somebody who struggles. So, weapon of choice, I'm going to start off with my 50-60 degree. Now, that's standard sand wedge loft, and the reason I'm using this one for now is that the back edge of the wedge is lower than the front edge, so that's called the bounce to the club, and that's going to stop the club digging into the sand. But so many golfers end up opening club faces, changing stance, swinging differently. I'm going to give you something just really simple to do. So the first thing you're going to do if you're working along with me is you're going to draw a line on the sand and imagine that the ball would be on that line. So if you were hitting a normal sand wedge, you'd get the ball in the middle of the stance from the fairway and you'd be stood on top. But we need to make sure we're going to hit the sand first so that the club splashes the sand out and onto the green. So we're going to move the ball more opposite that left heel. We're going to shuffle the feet into the sand. That's going to lower the bottom of the arc, making it a bit easier to hit the sand. It's also going to help you, which we're not allowed to do, so test how much sand's there. So this bunker doesn't feel like there's loads and loads of sand in there. And then to make sure I don't hit way behind, I'm going to have a little bit of pressure into that left side, and I'm going to keep the pressure there. And I'm just going to swing, make contact with the sand, see where the contact is, and see how the amount of sand feels. So from there, so the amount of sand felt pretty good, and I probably hit maybe a couple of inches behind that one. So we're going to shuffle in. Again, keep everything square though, nice parallel stance, club face nice and square. Now that one, I definitely took a bit more sand and entered a little bit more behind because I didn't feel I kept the pressure on that left side. And then one last one. And that felt much more like that first one. And even though there was a little bit of inconsistency with those, that would have just affected how far the ball came out. Now, I would want you to practice that a lot. And when I go in a practice bunker, I might spend 2-3 minutes doing that, getting a feel for what I'm doing. And if I make a consistent swing, I'm going to hit the sand in a pretty consistent place and take a fairly consistent amount of sand. And only once you're consistent with that, do we then reintroduce the golf ball. Okay, so I'm going to use 3 golf balls for this, and I'm going to put the balls in a line, just as we had them there. And I'm going to use the same technique, and I'm going to get a feel for how I'm taking the sand. And obviously the flag's on the green there, but I'm not too worried about how close I get to the flag for now. So ball opposite that left heel, everything nice and square, shuffle the feet in, get that pressure on that left side, and a fairly full swing. And it's out. That one just towards the far side of the green, so past the flag. But again, love the contact with the sand there, and it takes away that fear factor of ball first and it going miles, or just chunking one a foot in front of me. So again, let's see if I can be consistent in what I'm doing. Pressure on that left side. Now a little bit more sand. So yeah, definitely a bit deeper into the sand, but still on the green. And that was actually just short of the flag. And then let's just go one last one with that basic technique. And again, maybe just a smidge more sand. But if you're somebody who struggles to get out consistently, you're going to love the fact that all of those results are on the green. Now, I always say this in videos, I'm not going to hit 10, 20, but I would want you to do lots and lots with the same club, trying to be as consistent as possible. And if this might be all you need for this video, your initial thing is I just want to get out and have the putter out, that's enough. But like a lot of golfers, it'll only take a few games of that, and that won't be good enough. You'll want to know how to get nearer to the flag. So that's what I'm going to talk about now, what we're going to change to control the distance of the shots. So If we want the ball to go shorter, the first thing we could do is use more loft. So I'm going to go from my 56 to my 60. I'm going to keep everything square. You might, if you're being more picky, add a little bit of loft, and then you could lower that handle to get the face. But I'm going to keep everything nice and square, same setup, treat everything the same, and let the increased loft hit the ball higher and land a bit shorter. Big, high, soft one. That's perfect. And again. And I'll be honest, a lot of the time I feel more comfortable taking that bit more loft. I could be a bit more aggressive with the speed, which is the other thing you could change. So you could swing slower or quicker to control the distance. But again, set up, big swing. And just let that extra loft of the club pop the ball up in the air, and straight away, for those closer flags, just use more loft. And then for those longer bunker shots, a bit like we saw Bryson play, I'm not going to go quite that long on this one, we'd just use less loft. So I'm going to use my 52 for this, but you could use your pitching wedge, even your 9-iron. Set up the same way, let the less loft launch the ball a bit lower and get it chasing out. But you're going to keep that technique the same. And that one really coming out flat, landing more on the far side of this green, and then chasing for here across the green, but it would work on the longer shot. And again, and once you've got this simple framework in your head, it's so easy, not only to get out first time every time, but hit some really high quality shots. So again, that longer shot, less loft, ball forward. There's that low runner out there. But remember, if you're going to hit good bunker shots, you need to be consistent with where you're hitting the sand. So get that ball forward, shuffle the feet in, get the pressure on that left side and keep it there. Then when you make that swing, you're going to be pretty consistent with the amount of sand you take and where you hit the sand. Then you can change loft of club and speed to start controlling the distance. But remember, the title of today's video was get out the bunker first time every time. Go back to the start if you're not doing, watch through it. I guarantee you will hit some of the best bunker shots of your life using this technique.